You are listening to the Local Lick Show right here on Vintage Radio 107.7 WQUD. And we are broadcasting from the Rhythm City Casino Studios here in downtown Erie, Illinois. And joining me live in studio, we have special guest Bryce Janey, who's going to be playing at the Katazan House tonight. Bryce, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. And, man, so glad to have you here. And, man, you got some great music. They asked, hey, you want to have this guy in? I'm like, well, I got to listen first. 2 seconds in? Sure, yeah. Let's have him in. So tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, well, I'm from Cedar Rapids area, Iowa. Actually, Marion, Iowa. It's where I was born and raised. Little place right connected to CR, so I just say Cedar Rapids.
Sure, yeah.
But I started out probably late 80s with my folks. I was about 13 in a family band called the Janeys. And we played all over regionally and nationally, a lot of blues, type Hound Dog Taylor kind of blues circuit stuff and all that thing. And been doing my own stuff since then. Put out a lot of different CDs with Grooveyard Records out of Rochester, out east, in New York. And just been I do a lot of solo band. It just kind of depends, but just still doing her, keeping it going. Back at it. Obviously after the all the stuff that was going on.
Yeah,
But it's good. People are back at it. So
that's for sure, and we love hearing that. So tell me a little about the Janeys then. So that band, was that a family band, or you led it up with some other people?
No, so that band was started by my dad, Billy Lee Janey, and actually my mom played drums. And,
awesome.
And I played bass, and then we did two guitars and drums for a while, but we'd rotate around. But yeah, it was a trio, and so we were able to do a lot of stuff normal bands couldn't do because we were a family, and that's the only way I was able to play in all these clubs is because I was working and I was with my mom and dad.
Yeah.
So, so it worked out pretty good. But yeah, we played. We were at Buddy Guy's Club a lot in Chicago, and early on there, and played with a lot of people from that area, Coco Taylor and AC Reed and all those. A lot of those cats that aren't around no more, But Buddy Guy's still going.
Yeah, but you got to consider yourself fortunate to be able to meet all those guys.
Yeah, it was the late 80s and early 90s there, which I know that kind of dates me, but I was really, really young. Like I said, I was 13, so I'm not that old. But that was, a really good time for, the roots and kind of blues stuff. It was just kind of breaking and getting big, Stevie Ray Vaughan and then Buddy Guy, and eventually came out with that. He ended up getting that Grammy record. Right. So there was a lot of stuff happening. Early 90s was a lot of good. Throughout the 90s was a really good time for, kind of smaller regional acts, at least playing kind of still a niche market,
Yeah.
In the blues thing kind of.
So now you said your mom and dad were in the band. So is that how they met?
No. My dad he's played since he was, he had a band in the 70s called Truth and Janey, which they had some, they've got a couple kind of collectible albums that came out. One of them 70s, kind of like Wishbone Ash and some of those bands. They didn't quite break, and the disco scene came in. But so he was playing and then I was playing guitar. And then he came up with I don't think my mom liked the idea at first, but he's like, okay, well, we'll get you to play drums. So I don't know how that worked, but yeah, she did really good. We were doing, more straight ahead blues. It wasn't like we were doing real heavy stuff where it requires, kind of drumming where you'd just be.
Yeah.
We probably couldn't have done that, but no, it was. We had a good run for a while, and so just went from there,
Yeah, and here you are.
Yeah.
And here you are to play some music.
Still just a teenager too.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, you're as old as you feel.
There you go.
You're
not as you look.
Yeah, that's right. You're telling me. That's why I'm on the radio.
Oh, you got plenty of time.
All right. So you want to do a song for us?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. we'd love to hear something from you.
Yeah.
And you got a couple of guitars with you.
Yeah, I've got one here. I just kind of do the acoustic thing when I'm solo, but I do. Obviously, I originally was an electric guitar player, you know, and playing with a band or drums and bass. And
Sure, yeah.
But, all right, yeah. So here's a. All right, do one here. Yeah, we're gonna take it out to the country. Going down to the country, yeah, where my head is clear. Yeah. Going down to the country, yeah, where my head is clear. Yeah, mama. Yeah, that country people and that small town feel. Yeah, that country people. Can't see no but mama for miles around. Yeah, I think that's the way John likes it out there, yeah. Can't see no but mama for miles around. That country fever, I'm going underground. Country fever, yeah, that country fever, that country fever. Look out. Yeah, well, I play my guitar, all my friends. Yeah, and I play my guitar, all my friends. I said all my friends. Yeah, that country fever, just a small town digging man. Country fever, that country fever, baby, that country fever. Country fever, just a small town digging man. Country fever, yeah, that country fever, baby. Woo. Oh, that country fever, yeah, that country fever, that country fever. Yeah. Country fever.
All right, Bryce Janey live in studio here. You can see him live tonight at the Katazan House. That starts at 7. Man, that is some good stuff, Bryce. Some good guitar work.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So how long have you been a solo artist then, on your own, doing your own thing?
Well, I mean, I started doing that early on, but I didn't do it as full time probably till I was closer probably in my early 20s, as far as really, well, first of all, I had to be 21 so I could not be my mom and dad. To go to that.
Yeah.
So, so probably about 21. It's probably when I started doing more solo stuff, but more stuff probably with the band too. The solo thing kind of, I do dual stuff too with my dad, but that's more out of, necessity, and the fact there's a lot of places they just don't have the room for a band, and they want to do music and stuff. But so that's kind of how I ended up breaking down into the kind of solo, actual solo acoustic, has a sense to a solo career aside of being in the family band. But yeah, probably, gosh, I suppose pretty long, probably 30 years, I guess, now.
So you've mentioned some of the artists that you've met in the world of blues. Is there any that stand out to you that maybe doesn't get enough recognition, in your opinion, or some underrated artists?
Well, there was a lot. I mean, there's a a list a mile long, of people that probably didn't get recognition. Even some bigger artists that even today that are legendary that didn't get probably the recognition they deserve too. But somebody currently, I can't think of anybody in particular that's not really, I know me. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Duh.
No, I don't know. It's such a different kind of times now than it used to be with people trying to kind of do their own stuff and break out. There's if you're not doing it full time, there's people kind of just do it on the weekends and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It just depends. You got to do it all. Like you got to try to keep putting CDs out, songs out, try to keep up with all the platforms
Sure.
and all that. And
Oh, yeah, there's just so
keep
much.
keep getting your music out there and stuff. So
Yeah. So, talking about CDs and stuff, how many albums do you have out currently?
Well, I started doing, the first CD we did. It was probably 87 maybe with my folks.
Mm-hmm.
That's like before anybody even knew what they were, and they're like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
And so we did a few in the late 80s there. And then I probably did my first CD, I think, let's see, that was 95, when I started my first solo CDs. And I did about 5 or 6. And then I've done 6 or 7 with Grooveyard Records out of Rochester. I started with them in 2011, which we're going to do a new one next year. So I don't really keep track now, of how many. But yeah, I suppose probably 14, 15 different titles of, but it's, that's over a long period of time,
Yeah.
Still try to make them real productions though, not just, still trying to do the, the full deal, really a real band recording, a real artist doing artwork and the whole,
Yeah.
not just, spitting them out of your basement or something. Trying to still come at it at an analog standpoint almost,
Right. Yep.
in a sense.
Keep it simple.
For the audio files.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so, but a lot of those are out of print. I just sell them. They're just digitally.
Sure. That's the way to go.
And people just don't buy them quite as much as they used to. It just depends.
Right. Right.
Records have come back in a collectible sense. CDs are too. They sound better than MP3s,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, there's the whole discussion right there. We got Bryce Janey in studio right now. We're going to do a very short break here. When we come back, we'll have a few more questions with Bryce and another song. So stay tuned. You're listening to The Local Lick Show right here on Vintage Radio 107.7. And welcome back to The Local Lick Show here on Vintage Radio. Johnny Dollar here in studio with Bryce Janey, who you can see later on tonight at the Katazan House. That starts at 7 o'clock. Information on our Facebook page. And while you're there, give it a like, give it a follow. Help support us so we can help support our local and regional artists here in the Quad City area. Well, Bryce, we were talking about musicians that you might think might be underrated, but who do you listen to now? Who's some of your favorites that you're listening to? Doesn't have to be blues, but whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, actually, funny that you asked that. I listen to a lot of variety of stuff. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of kind of 70s kind of stuff for the kind of the way they recorded it and different stuff, like Little Feat, and
Yeah.
the band and stuff. I always like those type groups. You know, that it's kind of an ensemble of. But I love listening to. I like listening to like harmonica players too, like Little Walter and Junior Wells, or like Sonny Boy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I love like old acoustic blues too, you know, Lightning Hopkins kind of stuff, you know. It just never gets old to me. But no, I do like a variety of stuff. There's some great country stuff. Junior Brown is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole list of, you know, I could go on and on. But
So
yeah,
you listen to all this, and so how much of all of that is an influence to making your own music?
well, the '70s stuff probably always kind of has been a little bit in a sense, just not so much. Just from growing up, you know, in that era, you know, on the radio, and considering that people listen to the radio maybe more than, you know, than instead of listening to platforms for music or something. But it probably does a little bit. I mean, to me, I try to look at stuff from two different points of view, kind of as a producer standpoint. I try to step back and not just be solely, you know.
Yeah, and that's good to have.
I try to do both, because it's probably from doing it so long, and you just see the things you do that ain't right, and, you know, it comes out later and you just know it. But yeah, I think probably this, you know, there was some influence there. Always will be with that kind of, you know, 70s kind of rock, but yet some of the later stuff too is kind of cool. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about the disco stuff and all that.
Yeah. Blues disco. Wow, that'd be something.
There you go. Sure, anything's possible now.
You never know. Well, you got your guitar there, and she looks ready to go. What do you got for us next?
Okay, I'll do another original tune here. This one's called Down Home Blues, a tune I did on a CD in 2012. Small town southern Iowa, in the middle of the night, you can hear those slide guitars blowing out the lights, laying down that Mississippi sound, babe, steady and tight, playing that old double blues, baby, till the morning light. Say hello, fool, got to pay your dues. On the one way to down home blues. Yeah, going down to Memphis, Chicago. Yeah, I'm gonna hear a little blues, man. I'm gonna soothe my soul. Yeah, little girl, hope I like it. Makes you feel good. Yeah, little sun house on the road, put you in the mood. So ain't no fooling, baby, got to pay your dues. All one way to do it, down home blues. Yeah, I said the down home blues. I said the down home. So you're sitting at the crossroads, honey, in the middle just stay or go? Oh, should you stay all night? Yeah, I got yourself a good man, honey, waiting by your side. Hell, how long a trail, mama, so you better decide. This ain't no fool, you got to tell the truth, baby. Only one way to do it. I sit it down home, I sit it down home. I sit it down home. Yeah, look out. Yeah, Robert Johnson. Son Charlie. Hey.
Bryce Janey right there for you. Hey, and you can see him live tonight at Katazan House. That starts at 7, and man, you're going to be in for a treat. I can tell you that for sure. So check that out. One last question for you, Bryce. Now, what do you do when you're not doing music? What do you do for fun?
Well, for a lot of years, I did teach. I was a guitar instructor for about 10, 15 years, kind of, good side gig, when you're not playing. But I haven't really been doing that. I've been doing more of the probably recording and some production work with a few different labels and stuff I've been working with for not just my own music, but recording tracks for some different people, other guitar players coming in. And a lot of that started with during the the pandemic. So you kind of had to keep busy doing something there.
Yeah.
But I do quite a bit of that, a little more lately. So.
Awesome. So where can we find your music online?
Well, you can. It's either at brycejaney.com, but you could. Not everything I have on there. There's some stuff it's just available for digital download. So Amazon, iTunes, CD Baby. I suppose that's probably the main. I said Amazon.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Amazon plug.
Yeah, Amazon. Never heard of it. That's good.
Yeah, there we go. Some of them. Yeah, those are probably the main.
All right.
I guess. Besides that, a live gig, I have some stuff too. But
right. So you working on anything for the future?
Yeah, just starting to. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of stuff for other people, but yeah, I'm just starting to finally get where I can start working on some stuff, and things will slow down here too. Playing. And
right. Yeah.
So I have time then, and should be a couple things. I know they're doing kind of a compilation of some of the earlier stuff we did on a disc, and then we're going to do a new 2022. So probably spring, hopefully, yeah.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that.
I'll get you one.
Hey, I appreciate it.
I'll send one up for you.
We'd appreciate that. We'd appreciate that.
Or over, yeah, kind of up.
Somewhere.
East and east.
Somewhere here. Yeah, so that's Bryce Janey. He'll be live in studio, live at the Katazan House tonight. Check him out. That starts at 7 o'clock. The doors or gates open at 6. So if you got nothing to do tonight, I highly recommend taking a short trip down there and seeing him play live. Man, seriously, great guitar work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
you guys got a great setup here, and
we appreciate it.
Hopefully everybody's supporting you like they should.
Well, we hope so. So that way we can support folks like you. And again, Bryce, thank you so much for coming in today.
You got it. Thank you.
All right, there you go. That is Bryce Janey.